was your dog on the payroll?
You know, I called him my furry philosopher. He was my assistant.
Oh
I mean, I still have a picture of him posing next to my first 5 orders that went out.
Today, I'm excited for you to meet Angela Mader, the founder of FiTlosophy and the creator of FiTBook, a revolutionary line of fitness journals that are redefining how people reach their fitness goals. Angela is from Orange County, California, and not only do I love her positive personality, her contagious smile, and her entrepreneurial spirit, but I think her mantra, "Live Life Fit," is the bomb. Along with FiTBook, Angela has created a subsequent line of products and programs to promote embracing a healthy lifestyle. Angela shares with us today how her own personal battle evolved into her passion for positively influencing the lives of others. She is a self-proclaimed goal guru, a motivational speaker, and a type A entrepreneur who thrives on new ideas. Angela is driven by passion, and she is powered by coffee, which I can so relate to. Angela started FiTlosophy and created FiTBook by listening to what people needed. She then took that idea, that dream, her creativity, and her laptop to create a thriving, growing, and successful business. With her success and by following her dream to be an entrepreneur, Angela has created a life that she loves. I am excited for you to learn how she did it so that you will be motivated yourself to take your idea and your passion to the next step.
Angela, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you.
So what struck me when I found you was that you are not only beautiful on the outside, but you have a beautiful heart, and I love your mantra, "Live Life Fit." And of course, I love the FiTBook. I'm a huge fan. I have it right here. And I would just love for you to share your story and share with us how you found the company FiTlosophy, and just share all about you. We want to learn about you.
Okay, wow. Well, how much time do we have? Because I can talk for days.
I love it. That's perfect.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And I love that you use FiTBook. You know, there are so many times that I talk to people, and the fact that you use and like the product is one thing. But I think you can also understand me. You know, I joke with people that follow my company, you know, people that use the FiTBook are kind of like me. We're like OCD perfectionists, which is a good thing in some ways, as we've talked about.
Right.
But that, you know, stems from, you know, things that have also been tough for me, and that's kind of why I created the company. So whenever I was in high school, all throughout college and into my early 20s, I battled eating disorders. And that perfectionist mentality, type A, had to be perfect. And it was something that really was tough for me, and I felt like if there was some way I could help other people that got so obsessive. I mean, I was counting calories. I was just so over the top, and it was through the process of journaling and a group that I went to and all these different things and the grace of God that I was able to overcome those things. But I knew I had to be an entrepreneur since I was very tiny. So then I thought, you know, if I could couple my passion for health and fitness and helping people in that way, and then couple that with owning my own business, it would be a home run. But really, it's not like I just had this idea one day. I literally started creating a fitness journal, and this guy at 24 Hour Fitness comes up to me and he says, "Hey, where can I get one of those?" And being the true entrepreneur that I am, I go home and I print out an extra copy, and I go to Kinko's and I cut it and I bound it, and I still have my two $20 bills he bought 2 from me.
Are you serious?
Yes,
That is so great.
Yeah, so it was fun to see that, oh, somebody might buy this. But at that moment, did I think that, you know, literally I would see people in the middle of, you know, I was up in Seattle one time and somebody's like, "Hey, FiTBook."
Oh my gosh, that's your name.
Yeah, did I ever think I would be called FiTBook? No, absolutely not. But that's just kind of how I got started, and I think what resonates with people, I hope, and what we try to represent is, you know, I don't represent a brand that is about deprivation or counting calories or obsession, because that's been my battle. And so what I try to do is convey, you know, motivation in a healthy way, and moderation, and living, you know, a healthy, active lifestyle, but not to the point where it defines you.
Right.
So
I love that. That's how, I mean, that's my message as well, and that's why I think we connected
resonate,
with you. Right when I spoke with you on the phone, I was like, oh my gosh, we get each other, and I'm so excited to talk with you. I love that you took your personal story and because of what you've been through, you want to go and help people, you know, and that's just so inspiring.
Well, it was actually, I think, actually, one thing I've heard before, actually from my pastor, was that your greatest struggle will often become your purpose. And so I really took that to heart, that I had to find meaning behind what I was going through. And, you know, to anybody that is watching this, or even just between you and me, an eating disorder, or any kind of addictive personality, or anything that you've struggled with will be something you face the rest of your life. So in some ways, Fitlosophy has been a very, almost a selfish endeavor for me, because I'm surrounded by positivity. As much as I do what I do to help other people, honestly, my customers inspire me more than I feel like I'm able to inspire them.
Oh, I love it.
Seeing their stories and hearing not only weight loss is just one little tiny component, as you know. It's the confidence that they get. It's the, you know, the health. I mean, we do a lot with the American Heart Association, and I received an email from a guy 2 years ago that was battling heart disease at the age of 30, and using FiTBook somehow lost all this weight and was healthy and active and had his mom using it. You know, stories like that give me chills.
That's what makes it worth it. That's what makes it go, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah, so it's not about me. It's really not. It's about, honestly, again, selfishly, my customers inspire me so much.
That. And your blog is so beautiful to look at, first of all, but I just love, it's so much heart is in that. Like, that's what I got from it. It wasn't like, it was really fun to read, and I had a lot to do the other day, but I kept reading, and I was like, it's cool because I really feel like I get to know you, and I feel like the purpose is there. I could read it. It's not about buy this book. It's like, I just want to help people, and your app is awesome, and just everything on there screams, you know, heart, and that you really care about people. I just want you to know that.
I do. Well, thank you. And you know, my blog is the one place, and I was joking with you earlier, I swear I have a mild social media addiction. But part of that is because I get to connect with people. Because when you do what I do, you're behind the computer a lot. You know, I'm working with buyers and, you know, manufacturing and fulfillment and all these things it takes to run a business. And I really miss the interaction with the consumer. So when social media is there, just waiting, I can interact with people. But my blog for me is where I can put my heart. And I joke with people, if I could do one thing all day, every day, it would be writing. I love it.
You're really good at it, though.
Well, thank you. I like it because I feel like God gave me this talent to be able to communicate my thoughts through writing in a way that resonates with people. And I can actually, I think the talent that I have, or hopefully I have, is that I can approach really tough topics, but really in a fun way.
Yes, definitely.
Like, I can totally slam you with something that's like in your face, like, wow, that's kind of deep, but then, you know, add a joke at the end.
Yes, definitely. And I feel that. And that's exactly how it comes off to the reader. So you do a really good job. So you mentioned about your business and how you've had to deal with, you know, manufacturing and stores and all of that. Okay, hello, you are at Target. Like, that is so cool. I remember, you know, like a year ago or something, I was in the fitness section and I was looking for something, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's FiTBook right here. Like, that's huge. And, you know, Amazon, I ordered another copy for a friend on Amazon. That's awesome. And you've been on QVC. Like, hello, you're doing great. So if you could share, like, what it was like to go from making that book for the guy at 24 to what it is today, just kind of walk us through what you've been through.
Wow, you know, it looks so glamorous. It really does. I posted a quote the other day that said, you know, after 10 years of, you know, basically blood, sweat, and tears, you look like an overnight success. And it's so true, because people see you in Target, they see you on QVC, and they see these things that from the outside, and don't get me wrong, totally blessed, amazing.
But tell us the truth here.
Oh, but the truth is, you know, for the first 2 years of the business, it was only me. I didn't even have an assistant or anything. I was literally packing orders from my living room while watching episodes of Friends, which some things never change. I still watch episodes. Packing the orders, managing everything myself. I didn't pay myself for the first 3 years. This is not glamorous.
That's like a true
stuff.
Entrepreneur, though. That's like where, you know, that's what I hear. The people who are real, you know, doing well today, it's like, hey, it's not sunshine and roses at the beginning, but you believe in it. So that's so cool.
You also know that you have potential. Like, when you have customers placing orders, there's something there. But, you know, I didn't start a business that was necessarily, when I came up with the idea, I was actually in my MBA program at UCI, and it was not a popular idea. They're like, Ange, It's a book. Like, what are you going to do with that? You know,
yeah.
and, you know, it's doing okay.
Yeah.
But to kind of answer your question, I think what you don't see from the outside is the hours and hours of work, but also the times where you want to give up. And I never have.
Right.
But you get so frustrated sometimes because you feel like you're working so much. And does this really change anything? Am I doing anything that matters? And then that's the day you get an email.
Oh.
Or that's the day you get a direct message on Facebook, or someone comments on your blog about something. And so those are the moments that kind of keep you going. But to my point earlier about being a perfectionist, I think the reason that I have been successful is nothing's ever good enough.
Oh.
Which is a good and a bad thing, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I remember walking into Target, and we had an end cap for holiday, not this year, but last year. And we had, you know, a display of products on an end cap. And I remember the first thing I thought, which annoyed me to death, was the FiTBook's crooked. Like, who thinks that? You know,
you are a perfectionist.
Yeah,
That's
who
funny.
walks in and thinks that instead of, oh, we're in Target, you know?
Yeah.
So it's that drive and that personality that is, you know, always what's next, what's next.
Right.
But I have learned as I've gotten along the way, and I think it was actually Shalene, I was listening to one of her CDs, and she said she had a similar experience after doing a DVD shoot. And she said to herself, she's never going to appreciate the moments if she doesn't appreciate right now.
I remember that one.
And that really struck me because I didn't allow myself to enjoy anything. I mean, I landed 24 Hour Fitness early on, Sports Chalet. We landed, I had all kinds of celebrities. Tony Horton from P90X said FiTBook was the bomb diggity. All these different things. And I never paid a celebrity, sorry guys.
Endorsement.
But all these things happened, and I never was like, yay.
Okay.
So that's part of what's driven me.
Yeah.
But to my point also, I'm learning to appreciate things. So I'd say QVC was a really eye-opening, like, holy camoly.
That's
really
crazy. I liked it.
I'm doing something really neat here. And that was a really cool experience. I'd never been in a green room.
Was it crazy?
That was like my second time having a mic on.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the fun part was it was so fun for my family and friends.
Oh, yes,
you know,
I'm
like
sure.
waking up at 4 a.m. to watch me on TV, and that was a really cool experience. So I think that the coolest part for me has been seeing it grow, but also knowing that I've been blessed with an opportunity to help change people's lives, and I mean that in the most honest way, not cheeseball at all. Right. But being able to think about what's next is what drives me.
That's awesome. And celebrating in the moment.
Yeah.
Of like,
learning.
Oh my gosh, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
But always thinking ahead. I mean, I even see that your website isn't even just the FiTBook. Like, you have other things always going on. And you've got this workplace wellness going too.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. That sounds amazing.
So many people think we just have FiTBook. It's kind of funny, which is okay. I've embraced that.
Right.
You know, I think we were talking earlier about, you know, what is my biggest fear? The one thing that drives me is I didn't want to be a one-hit wonder. You know, I didn't want
we know what happens to them, like American Idol.
Yeah, exactly. You're gone. And so I didn't want it to be where I was only known for FiTBook.
Yes.
But I think I've also embraced that FiTBook's my thing. It's what set me apart.
And started you where you are, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in some ways you can't be upset about something that has really got you to where you are.
Right.
But we have developed out a whole line of products that surround the FiTBook. So I talk about goal setting is what FiTBook's about. It's not about calorie counting or anything like that. It's about setting goals and reaching them.
Yes.
So we have a whole line of accessory products to kind of support that. But honestly, I didn't start the company with that vision. Target came to me and said, hey, FiTBook is the top selling fitness journal in the aisle.
That's great.
What else do you have?
Wow.
So I go home from my meeting and I'm like, Target wants more products. We need more products. Of course, I didn't tell them that.
Yeah.
My favorite way to approach business, and whenever I meet with a buyer, is always say yes and figure it out later.
That's
and it's
great
served
advice.
me well so far.
Yes. Yeah. Running home and stressing, but that's exciting.
I drive my team crazy. You know, they're like, yeah, we can't create a product. And yes, we can. We'll figure it out.
That's great.
And we have. But to that point too, what we also realized was giving people a FiTBook was one thing, but how can we impact more people? And that's where our corporate wellness program came in, Fit at Work, and we have our Fit at School program, which is for schools with our FiTBook Junior product. But so many of those have come from this, my customers telling me what they want. Right. So I remember my first trade show, someone from Chevron came up to me and they said, can we add our logo to the cover and can we give them to our employees like 2,000?
Wow.
Okay.
That's crazy. I have chills. Oh my gosh.
When you're selling like 1 or 2 a day on your website and somebody wants 2,000, I mean, our first production run, just to put this all in perspective, our first production run was 1,000 FiTBooks, and they all fit in my closet.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, they were in my closet in my house, and now when we go to production with anywhere from 20 to 30,000. And we have a warehouse, and I think I was pulling the numbers the other day, we've almost have 500,000 having been created in the past 7 years. So just to kind of put it all in perspective, but you know, when Chevron came to me and wanted 2,000, I was like, okay. Wow. So I didn't come up with this brilliant idea. My customers come up with the brilliant ideas.
But I think what's cool about you is you're listening to them.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, that's really, really cool. I didn't even know that. That's so great.
Well, the inside of FiTBook has changed because of FiTBookers, and
okay.
I love
all the little. I'm sorry, but I have to open it because when I'm all about goal setting too. But I love how you have like the quotes and stuff on here, and just
well, that's new.
Oh, I love it, and I love how you can write. I'm a old school pen to paper girl.
Yeah.
And I do like, of course, your app is awesome, but I'm like, I want to write stuff down. Yeah. And so I am in love with it. Everybody needs it. It's a great gift for people. I'm finding that it's a great gift for sure.
Well, here's the problem is people say, well, how do I give it to someone without insulting them? I say, here's a tip. Yes. Just say you know the creator. Ooh, so it's kind of like, good. Oh, here, you know, I know the girl, I'm supporting her. Here, I'm going to give you one. And it's a really great way to give someone one without, you know.
Or I just say, I'm in love with this. It just really helps me stay organized. And so I get it for people that I care about. That's what I say.
That's really cool.
And I don't say, like, you need to use this. That would be kind of
here,
mean.
hint. And I think, you know, the funny part is I had an intern start a couple months ago, and she said, you know what I love is you use your product.
Oh, that's huge.
You love what you do. And of course I do. Yes. I have my FiTBook in my purse right now. Yeah. The coolest part about my job, I get free FiTBooks. Oh, it's amazing.
Stay with that job then, just for the free FiTBooks.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. But that makes you authentic, and it shows through what you do. Yeah. So what struck me when you were speaking about your story is that you knew at a young age you wanted to be an entrepreneur. That's crazy. Like when? What were you? Tell us about that.
I love this story because, you know, I think part of what I try to communicate to people when I talk to them, and I love talking, as you can tell, is I did not come from any amazing, like, I love my family, I love where I'm from. Yes. I'm from a small town with 8,000 people in the middle of nowhere. I didn't come from money. And the reason I say that is because so many people look at entrepreneurs and business owners and like, well, you know, they had a head start. And the truth is, I didn't. What I did have a head start in, though, was I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. So my dad, my grandfather actually has had a used car business for almost 60 years. Okay. I grew up in that business. I mean, I was in a playpen in that business. My father owned a bakery for 10, 12 years, and that was my first job. So it's funny, in high school I was known as the donut girl. And now I'm FiTBook, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that is kind of opposite, but that's funny.
So I learned what it felt like to have that sense of ownership and just power over your own future. Yes. And I think I mean, if you asked me whenever I was 12, I think I thought I owned the donut shop.
Oh,
I mean, I managed the front. It was my little thing. Well, I knew that I wanted to follow in the footsteps of that. And I truly, when I tell people entrepreneurs are not made, they are born. We don't have a choice. Right. A lot of times, even if I wanted to do something else, I couldn't. I love being an entrepreneur. So I knew at a young age, I mean, what other 15-year-old reads Entrepreneur Magazine? That's just weird,
my gosh,
you know?
That is.
So I started reading Entrepreneur Magazine, and I went to, do you know Jack Canfield?
Yes, of course.
I'm all about
Chicken
motivational.
Soup for the soul, right?
Yes,
okay,
exactly. And I love going to motivational things.
Me too.
And so I'm sitting there, and he said, you know, if you've always had a burning passion to do something and don't know what it is that you want to do, look at what you read in your spare time. What magazines do you gravitate towards? Like a happy Friday night for me is at Barnes & Noble in the magazine or the book section. Yeah. And it was fitness magazines, and it was Entrepreneur Magazine. And so that really told me that's the area I needed to focus on.
Great advice from him.
Yeah.
I've never heard that, and I really love it, and it's so true.
And I use it all the time. So thanks, Jack.
Yeah, yay, Jack. That's
So
great
yeah,
advice.
I think it was knowing that, and I actually had a business before this one. I was in the IT space for many, many years, and in marketing. And I decided, well, the only way I'm going to be able to start FiTLosophy is if I have flexibility. So I started a marketing company and had that marketing agency for about 3 years through my MBA program. And I had that paying the bills while I was starting FiTLosophy at night. So when you say what was it like, it was a lot of work because I would have all my clients working and doing marketing and branding and all this great fun stuff. And then at night working on my website. And my favorite story about when I started the company was I did my own website, the first one. And my brother's an IT guy, and I call him at 3 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I broke my website. What am I going to do? And he said, "And I hate to break your heart, but nobody's going to your website right now."
Oh my gosh.
I was such a new
That is
business,
so cute.
and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting 2 orders a week. I'm sure it's not exactly the highest traffic website.
But it was like your baby.
It was my baby, and it still is. It still is.
That's cool. And I think what you say a lot of things that like hit me like, yes, that's like gold right there. But when you said that, you had your job that paid the bills and then you had your passion that you worked on at night.
Yeah.
I think that people need to realize that, if it's something that you believe in, you're going to sacrifice watching TV, going out with friends, sleep, for, things like that, if you really believe in it, but it's worth it, right?
It's totally worth it, and I would say too, it's not the popular path.
Right.
And
it's not the easy thing,
it's,
but
it's not, because my friends a lot of times didn't understand why I didn't want to go out. And I have a better social life now. It's a little bit more balanced, but the other thing was when I started the business, because I wasn't getting paid to do this business and the other business was funding it, I didn't have extra money to go, spend $50 on drinks at the bar.
Yeah.
I needed all that money to put it back in just living.
Right.
And the other thing I tell people is if you want to do something for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Oh, yeah,
and you've heard the cliche, do what you love and the money will follow.
Right.
I think there is something to be said for that because when you can stay up till 3 in the morning working on a website that actually nobody's going to.
That's hilarious.
But that's, you have to.
But you knew eventually people would because you knew what you had was something that they needed.
I hoped so.
Yeah.
And I knew, one thing I always say is I always looked bigger than I was. My brand was always very clean and very polished, and I looked like I had, a 10-person operation when it was really me and my dog.
Oh my gosh.
So I think you kind of have to fake it till you make it sometimes and really believe that it's going to go there and build it so that you can grow into it versus, I tell people all the time, if you don't have a professional business card and you don't have a good website, no one's going to take you seriously. Right. No one.
Yeah.
So
you have to start somewhere. I love that. Was your dog on the payroll?
I called him my furry FiTLosopher. He was my assistant.
Oh
my gosh. I still have a picture of him posing next to my first 5 orders that went out.
See, I had a vision of your dog there, right there with you. And then so when you first started, so you went from 24, making the book for the guy, your first customer, to getting in production. Like, was all that really hard? Like, did you figure it out? Did you have to do a bunch of research? Did you have to call out to people you knew and just like, did you fail? Like,
I will never forget the people that gave me a shot.
Okay.
I will say that. And I'm still friends with the first woman there was a man, amazing man in Colorado, which is my home state. Nobody would give me the time of day. What I wanted, I'm so picky. I mean, there is detail in this puppy. Okay, the rounded corners on the front, that's because I didn't want people poking themselves.
Or getting paper cuts.
Yes,
Thank you for that.
The pages used to be rounded, but that cost me 50 cents per book. And then I realized no one actually cared that the pages were rounded. This pin is like so popular. People love it.
I have to have it.
There's a little, Detail is my middle name.
Yeah.
So the problem was nobody wanted to do
too.
it.
Fits in my
the
purse.
size was
Yeah.
5.5 by 5.5.
Yeah, very smart.
And nobody wanted to make it. And there was this lovely man in Colorado that gave me a shot. And I remember going there with my mom and telling him what I wanted, and he's like, we can do it. Now, I can tell you that it was very expensive because I only did 1,000 for the first run. But he gave me a shot. He believed in me. And we were able to build that together. And, their business, he ended up getting older and retiring. And so I changed manufacturers over time. and we've perfected things. But the truth is, I had no clue what I was doing. None. Like, how do you make a book? I don't know. I was Googling, how do you find it? How do you make a book? Eventually, you know, we had to find new manufacturers and distribution, but things happen in business. I mean, after we made the book, that was one manufacturer. We had to find different manufacturers for our scales and our body fat calipers and our fit portions plates and our blender bottles. Everything is different. And then once you have all your factories, you have to consolidate them and ship them. And then you have to have a warehouse to store them. And it's kind of a joke, but I joke that I've had more fulfillment houses than I've had boyfriends because they are so hard to find a good one. And I can tell you.
Same with boyfriends, though.
Well, yeah, that's another story. The point being, finding those partners is so important. Like, until I found all those key pieces, it was an uphill battle. And now I can tell you that I'm so blessed to have really good employees, really good partners in place. And that's something that takes years and years of fine tuning.
Right, right. But when you find employees, like, is it I mean, you're looking for a specific person that has like the same drive and who, you know, what is that like?
As an entrepreneur, I don't know if anybody else can attest to this, but as an entrepreneur, I would say that is the most difficult part, hands down. Entrepreneurs aren't necessarily managers. I can tell you that. I'm a creative, I have a vision, I have a passion, and unless you can roll at the pace I go, it's going to be really frustrating because, I mean, one of the girls that works for me, she's my graphic designer. I've worked with her. I actually worked with her way back when, even with my marketing company. And we just have we click so well that it's like magic, right? So she's stayed with me the whole time. I don't know how she puts up with me, but I love her to death. She's one of my best friends. But then one of my girls, Tiana, she's my operations girl. I mean, her first day on the job, I was like, well, good luck. And she was a USC grad, though, in entrepreneurship, and she grew up in family business as well, so she knew how to roll with the punches.
That's great.
If you can't roll with the punches with an entrepreneur, we're like bright, shiny objects, and like we just go, 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 and you have to be able to stay afloat.
Right.
So it is tricky in that way, and I would say it is a special breed of an entrepreneur who is actually a good manager, who is a good CEO. They're very different people.
Yeah. Okay, so after we talk today, you are on your way up to LA to speak at a fitness conference, which is so cool. Those lucky people get to hear from you. But I'm curious, have you always been a public speaker? Has this been something that you've grown into? And
well, I don't have a lot to say. You know, I can't talk.
Oh yeah, right. You know. You're so quiet and you're so introverted.
My mom used to call me Chatterbox, so that gives you an idea.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to the Fit Expo to speak on a panel, and this will be my second year doing that. And I do speak a lot at colleges, actually.
Oh, wow, cool.
I love doing that because those are people that aren't jaded by life. They're so excited and just want to like do what they want to do, and they have so much passion and drive still. And so I love talking to them because it really resonates, and I feel like I can have an impact. I love speaking, and I wish that was something I could do more of, you know, in my time, because for whatever reason, my story does inspire people. And I like to say that, you know, my calling is a little different. I am not necessarily, the products I have are in the fitness space, but I think the message I can send to people is really living out your passion.
Oh, yes.
You know, I am not going to be the person that's, you know, God bless them, you know, the six-pack abs and doing videos. That's not my calling, and that's not what I aspire to do. Right. But I think that's a good thing because I think it also shows people that there are so many different things you can do in the fitness industry and have a different impact and have a business that's completely different and still make a difference. So, so do I speak a lot? Yes, I do speaking engagements every now and then. When I'm asked, I love doing it. You can't shut me up, as you know.
But you're really good at it.
But I do love, I love seeing the look in people's eyes when something I say, like a little negative something, inspires them and sets off that spark, and those are the things I love doing.
Isn't that worth it? It's like the email from the people or the one person you know, that it says, you've changed my life. That's when you're like, this is what I was meant to do.
Yeah, it's really neat. And I think the speaking thing is hard for me because I don't take myself that seriously. I am like, it's just my story. But what I'm finding is that I've got to have more confidence in that, and those are the things I'm working on. Everybody is, you know, because I've never been like, well, why would anybody want to hear my story? But I'm learning that it's not my story to keep to myself. It's my story to share.
Oh, totally. I think, and everyone has a story.
Yeah.
You know, I've talked to so many people who they're like, I don't have a story, it's just me. And I say, well, tell me about you. And then they'll tell me all this. I'm like, that's your story.
Yeah.
We need to embrace it and then share it. And you never know who you're going to connect with. You know?
Exactly.
That is so cool. So you're a successful entrepreneur. And if someone watching right now is, you know, feeling in their gut that they have something, they have a story, they have a passion, they have something that they want to go and share with people.
Yeah.
They could possibly make a business out of it.
Yeah.
You know, and have this amazing life of freedom. That's what's so wonderful about being an entrepreneur. And yes, it takes work and all of that, but if you could share a couple tips of, you know, looking back, maybe what you would have changed or things that worked really well for you to help them get started and then to, you know, stick with it through the tough times and really enjoy the whole process.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So a couple of things. I think number one is figure out why you're different. I started a company with a book. Like a FiTBook. And, you know, I like to say I bucked the trend. Yes, we have an app. It's a goal-setting app. It's not a tracker. So in the world of technology, I'm doing a book. But you know what? People like that.
Yes.
And I do it in a way that is, you know, very authentic. We're like, this is who we are, and there's a group of people that will buy it. But I do that also because it's what sets me apart. If I'm like everybody else, if I'm doing what everybody else is doing, how am I going to stand out in the crowd? So I think it's think about your story, think about what you have to offer, and how are you different?
Definitely.
I mean, it seems so easy, but really, you know, part of social media is everyone's trying to do the same thing and be like each other. Well, how can you be different? How can you be that voice of, you know, I like to say that moderation is what we preach, and it's really not a common message. And I joke that part of the reason that our products are different is because we don't promise a quick fix. I like to say we sell hope, not hype.
I love
and
that.
we like to give people an idea that, you know, you have the power within you to make the changes in your life, but it's going to take hard work. Guess what? That's not near as sexy as, you know, lose 21 pounds in 21 days. It's not as appealing, but it works.
Right.
So I think find out why you're different. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, and it's not going to be a lot of people. I will be honest with you. Even family and friends sometimes don't understand. My mom, bless her heart, she never understood why I wanted to be an entrepreneur. She's like, you just left your first job paying you a lot of money and a 401k. What are you doing? You know, she never understood that, but she was always my biggest fan.
That's great.
And I always had people that believed in me and would support me, because I can tell you this, and God bless the people that marry an entrepreneur, because they are just a different breed of people. You will have days where you want to give up. You will actually have days, more days than not, that you just don't know why you're doing what you're doing. So having those people is so important. And I think the last thing is do it. I have people come, and so Nike, just do it. It's so kind of cheesy,
it's a great
but
saying.
It's
true.
That's why they're a multi-million-dollar company. I have countless number of people email me, call me, Facebook message me. I have an idea. I have an idea. I have an idea. And I, in the most loving way possible, tell them, congratulations, your idea is no different than anybody else's. The difference between you and the next person is whether you do it or not. Because my idea was not that different. Do you know how many journals there are out there? There are a ton of journals. I just do it better, in my opinion. But I created a brand around it, but I did it. And so that's what really sets people apart. The first trade show I ever did, I had countless number of personal trainers coming up to me. Oh, I created a fitness journal. I created a fitness journal. I said, oh, let me see it. And the difference is, either you're going to do it or you're going to talk about it. And the only difference, the only thing that sets me apart from the other people that had the idea was I did it. And it's not easy. It takes a lot of, there's a lot of tears. I mean, and I'm not trying to discourage people, but if you're
being honest, you know, I love it.
Well, I'd like to say, like, if I ever wrote a book, or I will at some point write many books, but one of them would be all the reasons why you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. And if you can finish this book and still want to do it,
that's great.
You should do it.
Oh my gosh.
Because the truth is, it's not as glamorous. It's not as beautiful. I mean, it's not all, you know, pretty hair and bright lights. It's like late nights, you know, watching episodes of Friends, trying to figure out what the heck you're going to do about a manufacturer that's holding product, and then holy cow, we have a competitor over here, and now my legal team is talking to someone that infringed on our trademark, and you know, it's so much. But if you can get to the end of all that and still want to do it, you're going to be successful.
And then you wake up in the morning and you're your own boss, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cool. You wake up and go, I created this. I've done something cool. I mean, right? It's all worth it in the end, all that blood, sweat, and tears.
It's totally worth it when you realize that you're creating your future.
Yes.
And that, you know, so many people say, well, is it stable? Well, neither is a job.
So true.
You know,
get
you
fired
could be
like that.
laid off so quick. I would rather have my own, I would rather know that I am personally responsible for what's going to happen today, tomorrow, and the next day. You know, the hard part is having a clear vision. And it sounds so cliche, but if you don't know where you're going, it's just like with FiTBook. If you don't have a plan for where you're going, you're not going to get there. And I think the hard thing about an entrepreneur is your plan is very fluid. Because I can tell you right now, you know, I sit down to do my forecast for 2015. It's a best guess. You know, I'm pitching some really big partners right now. If they take my product, great. Things are this way. But, well, if we take it this way, it goes this way. You have to have a plan, but you have to be able to roll with it. And if you are not flexible, you'll crumble.
Right. But you're always driving forward, which I love. Like, you're always like, that's
what's
like,
next?
Oh, I love that. That's so great. And when you said the just do it, that's huge. I always tell people, don't tell me what you're going to do, show me what you're going to do. Like, show me.
Yeah.
And then, it's kind of like putting one foot in front of the other, like always believing. And even on those days where you're like, oh, I suck at this, or, you know, my friends think I'm crazy. Who cares? Like, go. You know?
And I think you will hear no more than you hear yes. People see that I was on QVC, Target, Amazon. We have international distribution across the world. They don't see how many meetings I've been in where they were like, it's a book, you know, and you get these looks and you're like, yep, and you just have a smile on your face and you go with it. You will hear no 10 times more, but those yeses are so sweet.
And you have to get a bunch of no's before you get the yes. Like, you just have to keep going. Oh my gosh. You are so great. Like, I am so excited for people to learn from you and your true story and how you really honestly shared how it's not all sunshine and roses, but if you believe in it and you have that drive and you want to design your life. I mean, I think that's the best. One of the
and
best
I don't want to be a
parts.
downer.
You're not. I love the honesty. I love it.
I love being an entrepreneur. Don't get me wrong. I think but if I were to sit here and tell you that it's, oh my gosh, it's so wonderful, and I'm just, look how amazing I am. That's not the truth.
No. And people need to know that. If they have that heart to do it and they know that they have something special to share, do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it, right?
It's the same thing as working out. I tell people, you know, the people that you see that look perfect and have the perfect body and, you know, they just eat all the perfect things and do their workouts every day and it's not hard, are not being authentic, because everyone still has to wake up. Everyone still has to put in the time. Everyone has to be disciplined. It takes hard work. It's just whether you're applying it to a business or your body.
And the same thing with working out is what you put into it, you get out of it. So
absolutely.
I was at a class the other day and she said, what you put in this workout is what you get out of it. And I was like, that's the same as our businesses. That's the same as our marriages. That's the same as everything in our faith and everything in our lives. It was like this moment, I'm on a spin bike and I'm having an epiphany, but it's just so weird how those things come to you, but oh my gosh.
One of my blogs is called Crying on a Spin Bike because I had some of my deepest thoughts on a spin bike.
I do too. I've cried on the spin bike before. I mean, I don't know what happens to me when I'm sweating on that bike. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Well, we are so blessed to have you here, and I want everyone to make sure that they go to its blog. What is your
My blog is blog.getfitbook.com.
Okay.
And our website is getfitbook.com, and you can click on the little blog tab.
And I'm excited to keep watching you grow and your success until, you know, send these to everybody I care about. Not telling them they need to get fit, but just stay organized. And when you're organized and you have a plan, like you said, that's what works. That's how we have success. So I wish you so much success and have fun speaking today. And those people are so lucky that you get to speak with them.
Well, thank you for having me, and
you're amazing.
Thank you for believing my story. I really appreciate it.
And I hope that people watching this will be inspired and motivated to go and, you know, live the life of their dreams and get, you know, not just connect with that passion, but go do it. Go do it, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wasn't that so fun listening to Angela and hearing her story? I love how genuine she is, how real and honest she is about what it's like to start off with an idea and then really just do it. And she believed in her passion, she believed in herself and what she could make of this and how she's always driving forward. I am super inspired today. I hope that you are too, and that you are motivated to take your passion, to take your ideas and start a business of your own. Being an entrepreneur is something that gives you a life of freedom. Yes, it might be difficult at times, but it is worth it. So believe in yourself. I really want to motivate you today on that. Be sure to subscribe to mollymotivates.com so that you get my latest videos. And of course, leave comments. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching.